Hey guys, welcome back. This is your host Phil from underKG.com. Today we're going to take a look at the Huawei MediaPad M3 Lite. We have done a review on the MediaPad M3. If you haven't watched that, here's a little card directing you to the very video. Let's begin with the design. It's got a clean design. Since it's a lighter version of the MediaPad M3, it doesn't use as much of a premium material. And instead of the metal unibody finish, it has plastic back with the metal chamfered edges. But here's a good part of it. Since it uses plastic instead of metal, the edge is not as sharp as the MediaPad M3's was, and that means grip feels a lot nicer. Now, when you start using the tablet, here's a little fingerprint reader that doubles as a home button and something even more that we'll talk about just in a second. Just place your finger on it and it unlocks the tablet pretty fastly, pretty accurately. What you see here is the 8 inches of a Full HD panel. It's 1920 by 1200, little more than Full HD. The vanilla M3 had a larger QHD panel. Now, the difference between the QHD and Full HD is noticeable in this size. In smartphones, I really don't reckon so, but it is on tablets. It's not annoying at all. I actually like the panel. The colors are punchy enough, although I definitely would have appreciated a little brighter backlight. And also, if you don't like the white balanced tone there is the color temperature mode. So you can choose between default, warm, cold, or you can just choose in any of the spots in that color wheel. Now, let's talk about performance. Depending on the region, you might get different RAM or storage combination. This specific unit has 3 GB of RAM and 32 GB of storage, expandable with microSD card slot. But all of them have the same Snapdragon 435 octa-core processor. And 435 isn't particularly a powerful processor, but this wasn't actually slow at all. After killing all the processes, launching up the app, closing the app, launching up another app, closing that another app, and switching multitasking between those apps were actually fast enough. I was actually surprised. And one of the very interesting things that Huawei has done is to swap navigation bar to the off-screen navigation button. That's how they call it. So here's the fingerprint reader slash home button slash multi-functioning button there. You can use it for one touch back, touch and hold for home, and slide or swipe for multitasking. You can get used to it fairly soon, and this does allow you to use full screen of the display. They also offer this feature in their smartphones, and I loved it. On smartphone, that button is always on your finger's reach, and it even helps balancing out the phone in your hand. But on tablets, the button is too far away. Unless you're using both of your hands, I usually found on-screen navigation bar better because this one is too far down. Now, something that I absolutely loved about the tablet is the dual stereo speakers, left and right. Both of them has dedicated smart PAs and is powered by Harman Kardon, as they proudly marked on the back. Speaker quality is nice and volume also can get pretty loud. And when you want to use the wired headphones instead, there is a standard earphone jack ready on top. So that was the audio, and there's a pair of cameras, back and front. Obviously, you really shouldn't expect that much from a tablet camera, especially on a tablet that says Lite. They're certainly better than the $99 tablet from Amazon, but this surely is no flashy camera. There are different modes, photo and even pro photo, video, pro video, and HDR. Enabling HDR does make the photo better, but it takes longer time, so just keep that in mind. And my best suggestion for the front-facing camera, use them for Skype calls. So that was the camera. Let's move on to the battery life. It's got 4800 mAh of battery built in, and it held up pretty nicely. It gave me 9 hours of screen on time, which is pretty nice. If you want to compare it to the vanilla M3, that's almost an hour longer. And this was with Wi-Fi network all the time. So if you're using LTE network instead, you might want to take out about 2 hours off the Wi-Fi time. When you're done using up all the capacity, you have to charge them up with the micro USB port on the bottom, which is a rather older standard in 2017. But since this is more of a budget tablet, it doesn't really matter. What matters is the charging time. It is bundled with 5 volts to a charger, so that's 10 watts. And even with that charger, it takes around 3 to 3.5 hours to fully charge this up. That's really long. But given that this lasts for 9 straight hours, maybe that's not that big of a problem. And now that I explained you most of the things about this tablet, let's get into the conclusion. MediaPad M3 Lite. This is a performing tablet that doesn't overwhelm. It doesn't really overwhelm in any of the division. It doesn't have the biggest screen, it doesn't have the highest resolution, it doesn't have the longest lasting battery, nor does it have the best camera in town. But it certainly is a solid mid-ranger. It's fast enough for everyday use, and you might even be able to run some lighter 3D games on this. I personally had a lot of fun watching a lot of YouTube videos with the tablet on my weekend, and I think that's what this tablet is intended to do. Watch videos on your bed, surf the web on your commute, and perhaps have some little Skype meetings. And if those are all you ask from your tablet, this will probably suit your needs just fine. A well-built, solid mid-ranger. That's what MediaPad M3 Lite is. Thank you always for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. You can always meet us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. We'll see you guys later. Ciao.